Hey beauties, my name is Stephanie Mercedes and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to do a tutorial walkthrough on threading and trimming, so stay tuned. Alright, so we're going to start off with brushing and trimming just to get the top of her brows as even as possible without removing any hairs. We don't want to thin them out too much. We want to shape them, but we don't want to take off more hair than we need to. So with trimming, we definitely can do that. I can tell that this one is much higher than the other one, so we'll probably focus a little bit more, especially along the front and on the sides with this particular brow here, just to make sure that it's as even as possible before we just go in with the thread. I can already tell that along the front and the sides, they're much more even. They're much more parallel. So now we're prepping her skin with cornstarch just to make sure that the thread is able to grip the hairs and not lift the skin too much. It's a nice prep for the threading process. So now we're just going to work along the perimeter, and we are going to start from the top and go a little bit lower just to make sure that we get that sharp line. Getting all those stray hairs, all those small hairs, and brushing through with the thread. It's a dance between the thread and the spoolie, and we're going in sections just to make sure that we aren't missing any hairs that need to be removed. And then we'll go back in with the spoolie just to clean those little hairs away. All right, so we're spending a little bit more time on this one because again, this one was higher than the other one. And I also noticed that this one is more fuller along the bottom, but it droops her eye a little bit. It droops her face. So we might end up lifting along the bottom just a little bit, just so that I can be even with the other one and so she can have a nice lifted look. Now I'm going to have her stretch down. This will help for me to grip along this side of her face. Along the side, that skin tends to be a bit more dense. So stretching it out helps both for me and for my client so she doesn't feel the discomfort. All right. And we are always going to go back in with trimming if we have to. Here she's grabbing the top and the bottom. We're getting ready to do the bottom. And I always like to start off right in the front because the front is the first thing that people will always notice. And that's where you start creating that nice sharp line. That's where it starts, right along the front at the top and along the bottom. We can brush away any hairs just to see exactly where we're at. We're going to make sure that the client is gripping the ends as much as possible. And as we remove, we brush the hairs away. Now we're just doing some last minute touches before we go to the next eyebrow. Getting any strays, any hairs that don't fit the line. Now we're ready to go to the other side, and we're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna do the base on one side and then remove the hairs that have to be removed on the other, and then we'll go in with the tweezer if we have to, or go back in with threading. But here now we're just going to get the center cleaned and the front line on this eyebrow aligned. We're going to line it up, make sure that it's nice and crisp. Now we're going to start with the ends as well, brushing any hairs away that need to be removed. Now we're going in like we said, just to make sure that they're both even, going in with this area within her arch, making sure that the ends, all those stray little hairs, are gone. Now we're lining the center, cleaning up the center as well. Now is when we get to perfect them, and we get to tweeze what we have to tweeze and do any extra threading that we need to, and just align everything. Now I have my client lifting the center just to make sure that it's nice and stretched. We can grab any extra hairs, any specific hairs, the tweezers can get it right out. Just with those two hairs, it looks much more aligned already. And we always want to make sure that when we're tweezing, we're pulling it in the direction in which it's growing. So you see I'm pulling outward because that's the direction in which her hair is growing. We pull it in that direction just so that it's more comfortable for the client. And we just double check, make sure that everything looks clean. Now here we're just doing last minute trimming and just a brush through just to make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be. Everything is even, everything looks super clean. And I unfortunately was not able to record the tinting portion, but this is the final result with the tinting. I will be uploading a video about tinting specifically in the future, so please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Love you.